Hey, fellas. Good to see you.
Hello, sir. Good
We're
to
back
see
for
you.
the podcast today.
Arrived.
We're here.
Started.
We're here.
It's going.
Mhm.
We hit
Yep.
record.
Yep, we did. We're here.
Everybody doing well?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
doing
yeah.
very well. It's cold today.
It is a little chilly out
It's
there. A
just
little
spring
rainy.
weather and got cold and
I
rainy
saw
on us.
snow on the weather app. I don't think it
I
actually.
haven't seen
I
snow in
don't
the
think it
sky
actually
yet.
snowed. If we were a few degrees cooler, we really got hammered.
Yeah,
That
we
is
say
true.
that a lot around here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this year.
A few degrees colder, we'd get a lot of snow, and there have been a few days like that. A
No,
few
it's
degrees
super
off.
close. I think it's 36 today.
Yep, but we had spring all weekend.
About to say, I
so
was outside in
Sunday,
shorts and a T-shirt.
Sunday,
this
we were
weekend.
in the joyful whatever feeling of spring, and now we're here, wintertime again.
Back in the cold.
But it's okay.
Well, we had a good weekend.
Had a great
It
weekend.
was warm inside.
Ooh.
I was surprised. I mean,
Not
people
just
were
because
actually
of
here.
the temperature, but because of the hearts of the people here.
That's pretty corny right there.
Okay.
I was surprised. We got the
Did you like that?
No, not at all. You were surprised, sir?
I was surprised at the attendance.
Yeah.
Some days, somebody asked me, another pastor friend calls me all the time, every Sunday, me and him talk and say, how was it today? Is your crowd good? And I told him, I said, it looked pretty normal to me, but it was pretty good.
Which
really good number.
was pretty normal.
Yeah.
Really good. It's really normal. Yeah. They spread out. You know, we do 4 a weekend and then have a pretty good online group that's been
Yeah.
growing, and it's just amazing to see. And then what amazes me most, and I told the guy this today with you guys, that I think how many hands went up this weekend saying yes to Christ?
I think we were right around, was it 12 or 13? I think it was 13.
And the week before
Yeah.
was like 11,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah, I think that's
And
right.
this has been 2 weeks on giving. And to be honest with you, when you talk about generosity, most pastors are trying to not offend people.
Mhm.
You know, people say, oh, church is all about money and all this. So you're really trying not to offend anybody. And you're a little, I guess I'm a little cautious when I talk about money. I'm not afraid to do it. And we've done it a lot because, we don't see it as just our ability to try to rake in money from
Right.
people. We just see it as teaching them a principle that allows them to be blessed,
Exactly.
strong biblical stewardship. But
It's a part of discipleship.
it really is. It's a discipleship conversation. But back to where I was going with this is I don't know why, but I don't expect people to come to Christ after a message on generosity. But something about the whole spirit of that is just attractive to people. I think if you tell it like it is with the right heart, it just opens people's hearts, So, and we see that a lot. We'll do a sermon on giving or a series on it like every other year or so. And we see people come to Christ, and it always laugh about it. But that's incredible. The last 2 weeks, probably 23 people, something like 23, 24 people have said yes to Christ. And I know that's just the joy of it all.
Way we're talking about it too makes a difference, I think, too, because it's not like I don't think we ever just say give and just give. There's always something with it that's like equipping or enabling them. Because we talked about it, it's like to be radically generous, you have to be really dedicated to your finances and being on top of that. So it's not just a message on like, here's why you should give us your money. It's
Right.
and it's about
Steward.
yeah, it's about stewardship really.
Yeah.
And
I
like
listened,
being good stewards of what God's given you.
I was in the car yesterday, and I listened to Dave Ramsey on the Kerry Newhoff
Yep.
podcast. He's been there a lot. And Dave said a lot of times the reason you people aren't giving is because they're broke.
Yep.
He said they just don't manage their money well, and they can't give to anything because they're drowning at home, in their finances. So we do try to do that. We could probably take a sec here and just maybe encourage other leaders in what we think the right approach is to talking to people about giving. I think the approach should not be with this or anything else shaming or condemning or you ought to do this and you got to give and we don't have enough and you're cursed and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's something in the Bible about that, but it's like, what in the world? I never respond well to that approach with anything. Anyone shaming me, condemning me, pressuring me, I tend to fold up and go home in times like that. Yeah. We prefer to invite people to a party.
Yep.
To invite people to something wonderful. And if you don't want to join this, it's sad for you because you're really missing out on a tremendous life of being able to be generous and reap the blessings of God and just see people built up and blessed all around you. I mean, it needs to be an invitation out of joy, not somebody angrily just pointing fingers down at people that you got to do this or else.
Yeah, I view it as really similar to when we say, like, we don't really say God bless you. We actually try to bless them and give them what they need, or at least find a resource for them. In the same way, it's like we're not just telling you to give. We want to enable you with the ability to say, okay, here's how you can be a good steward with your finances.
Yeah.
So that when you give, it's not killing you. Yeah. So it's more than just telling people what to do.
Yeah, if you're going to give, you put it in your budget. You just have a line item in your budget that's giving, charity, whatever it is. I have one in my budget. One's charity to the church, and one's charity other places. Have some blessed money there.
There you go.
In your budget, so you can help other people, however small your margin may be. If it's $5 a month, it's a start.
I can just kind of speak to it from the vantage point of having sat up under your teaching for the last 10 years almost or so. And the way that you approach it has never felt shameful or has never felt pressured for anybody to give or anything along those lines. It really has been the invitation to experience God's blessing upon your life, yes, but also to be able to experience the joy that comes with giving. It's never just simply about I'm going to give so that God will bless me, but there is this joy that comes in being able to share and support others that are in their time of need. And I mean, I think that's one of the reasons that why people have gotten so behind the Christmas offering every year. Why so much? I mean, people gave towards disaster relief this year is that very few people I think were giving just so that they could get the tax write-off that comes along with it. But it was genuinely about this is an opportunity to help those that are struggling right now.
Yeah, I hate shame. You mentioned that word, and I thought one of my least favorite phrases that I hear anywhere is "shame on you." And that's just, I'll see people post that, even pastors or preachers, shame on you for this. That's the devil's currency there. Shame is what he uses against people all the time. And he tries to keep us all in shame about our failures. We all know where we're falling short. We all know about our past. We all know things that we are ashamed of. And you got to get to Jesus and get free from shame in order to live for him. And I'm not called to put shame on people. No way. So we just don't deal in that around here. If anybody else does, I guess that's up to them. But I won't be listening. When anybody says shame on you, I'm like, nope, it's not on me. I don't receive it. No,
right.
Not happening. I can certainly improve in a lot of areas, but shame doesn't motivate me at all. It makes me angry, and shame doesn't help anybody become holy. It just doesn't. So anyway, giving.
Yeah, this weekend
we talked a lot about, from Matthew 6, about just keeping your heart right when you give.
Yeah.
And Jesus said this, in Matthew 6, middle of the Sermon on the Mount. He said, when you give, when you pray, and when you fast. And for all three of those, it was don't do it publicly, but do it in private.
Wow.
When you give, don't let your left hand know what your right is doing. When you pray, don't go out in the streets and broadcast your prayer. Go in the private room in secret and pray to God. When you fast, don't put on old clothes and go around looking miserable so everybody can know you're fasting. Put on your best clothes, wash your face, look good. Keep these charitable deeds and these good, righteous acts. Do them in private, and it says again and again and again, the Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. And so we just talked about this week about how our giving needs to be, for the most part, private.
Right.
And I don't want to impose a legalistic standard on somebody that they're, feeling like, I can't tell anybody that I gave, or, we keep track of people's giving here at church because we want to give them the receipt for a tax deduction, and that's a wonderful thing.
Sure.
I'm a believer that I don't give for that, and most people I know don't give just for a deduction, but if you have a legal deduction, it's a wise thing to do. So there's nothing wrong with that. What Jesus is just aiming at is the way the Pharisees often did it. They gave for show.
Right.
And he's saying don't do that.
I thought that you made an important comment for us, who attend in person at Upward or even watch online. oftentimes we will share a giving story. In our next steps, talking about what everybody's giving has helped contribute to, whether it's an outside organization or something that happened here on campus, or we'll talk about the Christmas offering, and we'll talk about the amount that was given towards that. And so sometimes people could take that as going public, with being public about what you're giving towards. But you made a really strong comment about that. Why don't you share that with us as well?
I tell all the time here at home what we did. If we give, I share testimonies with the congregation of how we were able to be generous because of their generosity. And that's simply building a culture of generosity in the church.
Yeah.
And that's their gifts. I want everybody that comes upward and gives to know where their money is going.
Absolutely.
And how we're using it, stewarding it well to bless our community and change our world. That is not us out in the world bragging about look it upward for what we're doing out there. We really kind of eschew that type of thing and just push that away. We give and we don't. And again, some may see this as bragging, but our logo doesn't have to be on it because we gave to it. In fact, many times for events or things we gave and we said, you don't have to put our logo on there. In fact, don't do it. Now we don't. Yeah. Some do anyway, and that happens at times. And you may see Upward Christian Fellowship on a T-shirt or a sponsor list. We're not legalistic about it, but when we have the chance, we just say, don't do that. We would just rather bless you and let God bless us. And some people really want to do that and put the names up there. And I don't think it's wrong for an organization to do that, to say we help sponsor this event. I don't think it's wrong. It's just we have one of our values is unconditional service. We want to serve people with no conditions, and I don't want anything we do and anything we give to become marketing in the community. I don't want to say Upward Christian Fellowship. Now, we have, sometimes I think in one we gave to a school and just to bless the school, and part of their thing is to hang a banner up, and it says Upward Christian Fellowship. We don't fight that,
No.
That's what they do, and we wanted to bless them. We don't fight that, but we don't aim for that.
Sure.
Yeah. A good example is like for our serve days that we do, when we make shirts for that, none of them say Upward on it because we don't want people to drive by and see a bunch of people serving at a school and they think, oh, they're just doing that so to look like the good guys in the community. We're not doing that. We're only there to serve. Like another good example of we've talked about this, so I think it's fine to mention, but it's like we were able to purchase some guitars for a music class in one of the local elementary school. Now, we did not go around posting this and stuff, but the school posted something online and said, thank you guys for what you did. Took a picture of the students with the guitars just to tell everybody what happened. Now, we're not like actively asking them to take that down. You know what I mean?
Let me tell you about that one.
Yeah.
I found out about that one when the school posted.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we did that.
That's like, real left hand,
I was
not
reading,
right hand.
I was
That's right.
The pastor doesn't know what's going on.
Maybe that's the head, not the right hand.
Yeah.
I saw the Henderson County Public Schools posted this. Thank you. So I'm just kind of scrolling down on Facebook, and I see these kids with guitars. And it said something like, I was just scrolling down, and they were thanking somebody for giving that guitar. And before I could scroll down, I'm like, I saw it was a gift, and I'm like, way to go. Somebody really did a good thing in the community. And scroll up, and I'm like, that's us. We did that. Way to go.
That happens a lot to a lot of people. But it's
We
like,
don't even know,
we're not fighting them like, hey, take down that post. Like, nobody can know it's us.
No, I think you can go
if they
overboard,
they want to post that and thank us, we appreciate that, of course, always. But
that's not why we do it.
But that's not why we do it, and you're also not going to see us. Hey, I'm going to go film you, John, as you bring these kids these guitars.
Right.
Let's make sure we get one of them crying on camera so that everybody can really see how much this meant to the community.
Can I tell you something that bugged me during the hurricane? And I understand it, but it bugged me. I'm trying to weigh out whether I want to say this. One of the things that really bugged a lot of people is we had tons of people flooding up here during our dark moments, and they were like, some of them were just influencers coming up here just taking pictures for views and stuff. And I know some influencers came and did some good things,
right.
So I'm not dropping them all in one basket and saying they're wrong. But when somebody's hurting and the community is hurting, that's not the time for a photo op, And I get the reason for it a lot of times. I took pictures with a lot of people who brought stuff, But that started getting old because we were really hurting. I mean, we were going home with no power, and thankfully we had houses and a roof over our heads. It wasn't destroyed. So many people were worse.
Right.
But we were dealing with, where do we get food from?
Yep.
Where do we get water from? It's pitch dark, and, we're having a hard time even getting home every night. Yeah. And then taking pictures and smiling. Some of that got old, and I do not, somebody listening may have come up and got a picture with me and think I'm ticked at them. I'm not. I'm just saying, you got to work really hard when you're being generous to keep your heart right and focus on the person and the compassion and the need that you're meeting. And then when it's done, you walk away from it and say, it's done. I don't have to be the hero of all this. Because part of the problem in situations like this, too, there's so many people that want to be the hero. And we don't have to be the hero of everything. The idea is this: when you give, when you're generous in secret, God the Father sees it.
Yep.
And he records it, and he will reward you for it. So that's the heart we got to bring to it, and that's kind of what it was this weekend. Keep your heart right.
Yep.
Give in privately and watch God turn around and bless you, and he does. He does.
That's good.
Yeah.
We brought out the scoops.
Oh yeah, forgot about the scoops.
You forgot
How
the
can I
scoops,
forget about the
can tell
little,
you.
little tiny scoop? The little tiny, what's the little cute little scoop?
Plan for that scoop in your regular life.
It's still backstage. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I
Got to
don't
give
know.
it to somebody.
It belongs to the church. I
Let's
said.
give it to somebody in secret.
Kayla went out. Kayla at our office. It was just Thursday morning,
Yeah.
and I've thought about doing that forever. And I thought Thursday morning, this will fit really well here.
Right.
So I had Kayla go out to the dish barn over here, and I said, buy the biggest scoop they have and the smallest scoop they have. And what we illustrated is that whatever you measure out is what gets measured back to you. So I got this huge scoop, and I said, you want God to bless you with this scoop, but sometimes you measure out with this scoop, and I had the little scoop they found. And every time I brought out that little scoop, some lady or girl in the congregation would be like, oh, that's the cutest little scoop. Every time, all 4 times I preached this, people like, the cutest little scoop I ever seen. So that led to my voice of hear from this little scoop.
And then you use that little voice for God to bless people.
You
with
had
that
to
little
bring
scoop.
that
I was
up.
like, oh, I certainly did. It's like all of a sudden God starts talking, and it's, I'm going to bless you with this little scoop right here. I'm like, that's God's voice.
Wow.
And I said, you never expected God's voice to sound like that.
I sure did not.
I'm sure it does not, but that was Andy Craver's silliness to try to illustrate.
It was good. No, it was a great illustration.
Whatever the idea is, whatever scoop you use to measure out in generosity, you actually hand that one to God to measure out blessing on your life.
Yeah.
So I want to use that big scoop when I'm blessing people.
It's good.
Not just with money either.
Nope, with grace, with forgiveness, with understanding, long-suffering, all those things. Whatever you measure out comes back to you. The old folks used to say, what comes around goes around, right? Whatever you give out is what you get back, and it's true.
I've heard that before.
Yep, it's true. Well, guys, it was fun.
Yep.
Thank you to this audience that listens. We got some Connect groups that follow us, and we got some people all the time that just had a text this morning from last week. Somebody was really thanking me for that last week, us for that, and it's a joy to connect with y'all in this way.
ucf.cc/finance if you want to get those resources.
Absolutely. Free Ramsey Plus
fill up.
software. It's
gonna
there.
stay up.
It's going to stay there. Yeah, you can get it anytime and jump in with that, and you'll be blessed, I know. See y'all next time.
Yeah.